Hello, it's me, your friendly neighborhood Bible explainer. Bible explainer. We are in Exodus 17. Water from the rock. The whole Israelite community set out from the desert of sin, traveling from place to place as the Lord commanded. They camped at Rephidim, but there was no water. So they quarreled, they argued with Moses, "Give us water to drink." Moses replied, "Why do you quarrel with me? Why do you put the Lord to the test?" But the people were not water. They were thirsty for water. And they grumbled against Moses. They said, "Why did you bring us up out of Egypt to make us and our children and livestock die of thirst?" Then Moses cried out. He yelled up to the sky again, to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." The Lord answered Moses, "Go out in front of the people. Take with you some of the elders of Israel, and take in your hand the staff with which you struck the Nile, and go. I will stand there before you by the rock at Horeb. Strike the rock, and water will come out of it for the people to drink." So Moses did this in the sight of the elders of Israel, and he called the place Massah and Meribah. Because the Israelites quarreled and because they tested the Lord, saying, "Is the Lord among us or not?" The Amalekites defeated. The Amalekites are another people. They came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim. Moses said to Joshua, he's a new character, Joshua, "Choose some of our men and go out to fight the Amalekites. Tomorrow I will stand on top of the hill with the staff of God in my hands." So Joshua fought the Amalekites as Moses had ordered, and Moses, Aaron and Hur, H-U-R. Hur is not Joshua, You might think, so Joshua was fighting Amalekites, and then Moses, Aaron, and Hur. No, he's another guy named Hur, H-U-R. So Joshua was being a general and fighting the Amalekites. And three other people, Moses, Aaron, remember Aaron is Moses' brother, and Hur, they went to the top of a hill. As long as Moses held up his hands like this, maybe, the Israelites were winning. But whenever he lowered his hands, the Amalekites were winning. But remember, he has his staff in his hand. So when Moses' hands grew tired, it's possible he had, this is a secret, he had a rod too. Because if you look at Egyptian statues, there's some of these guys that stand like this with two sticks in their hand. Remember, Moses was Egyptian royalty. So he had maybe they call them both staffs So maybe Moses had one, and then Aaron had one. One could be a staff, and one could be a rod. You have to see statues of Egyptians. They hold like these two staves or sticks in their hand like this. So when Moses' hands grew tired, they took a stone and put it under him, and he sat on it. Aaron and Hur, H-U-R, held his hands up, one on one side, one on the other, so that his hands remained steady till sunset. So Joshua, defeated, he overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. So Joshua is a general. Then the Lord said to Moses, "Write this on a scroll as something to be remembered, and make sure that Joshua hears it, because I will completely blot out the name of Amalek from under heaven." Moses built an altar and called it, "The Lord is my banner." He said, Nisi. He said, because hands were lifted up against the throne of the Lord. The Lord will be at war against the Amalekites from generation to generation. Let's move forward to Exodus 18. Jethro is Moses' father-in-law. Moses is married to Zipporah, that is Jethro's daughter. Now Jethro heard of everything God had done for Moses and for his people, the Hebrews, Israel, and how the Lord had brought Israel out of Egypt. Remember, it's not that he just brought Israel out of Egypt. Remember, he had a strategy. He had Israel pretend to be afraid. We're running from you, and then God and Moses and these Kadosh Malakim, they caused the sea to split and dry land to appear in the middle, and then the Israelites were being afraid, pretending, where are we gonna run? Oh, through there, between the two walls of water, and then it says there's a wall of water here and a wall of water here. So they're running through the middle of it, and then Egypt chased after them, and then the Israelites made it to dry ground here, and then they were sort of in the middle, and then God and all of his smashed them and killed them and drowned them with those walls of water, and they drowned in the sea. So after Moses had sent away his wife, Zipporah, Jethro received her and her two sons. So Moses had a son very quickly, Gershom. And so we see he has another son named Eleazar. So Jethro, together with his sons and wife, came to him in the wilderness. So earlier Moses told his father-in-law, this person Jethro, I need to go to Egypt and free my people. So he left his wife and two sons, with his father-in-law. So they came to see him, and Moses was camped near Horeb, the mountain of God. And Jethro said, I am coming to you. He had someone run ahead of him to tell Moses that Jethro is coming with your wife and 2 sons. So Moses went out to meet them, and he bowed down. He bowed to his father-in-law and then kissed him. Not on the mouth. No. I guess back then they I don't know. I think they just sort of hugged. If your face gets anywhere near the other guy's face a long time ago, it's considered a kiss. They greeted each other and went into a tent to speak with the door open. Moses told his father-in-law everything the Lord had done to Pharaoh and the Egyptians, and about all the hardships they had because of Pharaoh and, again, the Egyptians, and how the Lord saved them. Jethro was delighted to hear about all the good things the Lord had done for Israel. He said, "Praise be to the Lord who rescued you from the hand of the Egyptians and of Pharaoh. Now I know that the Lord is greater than all other gods, for he did this to those who had treated Israel arrogantly." Then Jethro brought a burnt offering and other sacrifices to God, the one true God, the one that told Moses how to free the Hebrews. And Aaron came with all the elders of Israel to eat with Jethro. The next day, Moses took his seat to serve as a judge for the people. And they stood around him from morning till evening. So it took all day. When Jethro saw that Moses was doing this for his people, he said, "Wow, what is this you are doing for the people? Why do you alone sit as judge? It's taking all day." And then Moses answered him, "Because the people come to me to seek God's will. Whenever they have a dispute, it is brought to me. I decide between the parties and inform them of God's decrees and instructions." Moses' father-in-law, that's Jethro, said, "What you're doing is not that good. You and these people who come to you will only wear yourselves out. Everyone will get tired. The work is too heavy for you. You can't handle it alone, Moses. Listen now to me, and I will give you some advice, and may God be with you. You must be the people's representative before God and bring their disputes to him. Teach them his decrees and instructions." So he's saying that not only should you be a judge, there has to be someone to represent the people. And teach them his decrees and instructions, and show them the way they are to live and how they are to behave. But select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, trustworthy men, who hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. Have them serve as judges for the people at all times. But have them bring every difficult case to you. The simple cases they can decide themselves. That will make your load lighter, because they will share it with you. Share your load. If you do this, and God so commands, you will be able to stand the strain, and all these people will go home satisfied. Moses listened and did everything he said. So that's what Moses did. Then Moses sent his father-in-law Jethro on his way, and he returned to his own country. Thank you for listening. Remember, keep God number one in your life somehow. Take your places.